Okay, if I've got the plate in here and it's going to tilt ever so slightly that way so that it's parallel to the strings, then I might be able to slide pickguard material under here in order to form the little mounting plate for the switch, for the kill switch. But, and then other than that, the only other thing I've really been able to think of would be to make a block and glue it on here and then put the little mount for the kill button, attach it to that block the same way that it used to be done on the X11. And that's about the only options I've been able to come up with so far. Other than just, outright gluing the switch to the side of the guitar is the only other thing, but that's a little on the tacky side, So yeah, I've still got to, Well, I'm relatively sure that this thing is probably going to want to be sloped about the way you see it now, with maybe about 3 mil at the bridge end, which means I can probably sneak about a 1 mil or 1.5 mil piece of black pickguard material under it somewhere here at the middle. So I think that's going to be my approach. And I guess I need to, yeah, I guess actually that's going to be the next thing to figure out. Because other than popping in the battery and tuning it up, the only thing left to do really is install the electronics. So yeah, let me figure that out. Okay, I used the micrometer and I measured this thing, and I've got 3 mil more at this end than I do at this end as far as the distance from the plate to the strings. So I can go with 3 mil of shim here, 1.5 mil of shim that sticks out and forms the mounting plate for the kill button, and no shim at this end. And I've got enough brass and pickguard material in order to make that happen. So that's the battle plan. Okay, I think I'm all set. 4-ply LP type pickguard was the source for this piece of pickguard material, shim, and it was cut with a coping saw. This is 0.3 mil brass sheet I used from a leftover control panel, just hacked it out using aviation shears. They've been cut to the same size. The plastic was cut first and then sized to the end of this, and then the brass was sized to the plastic. I'll glue them together, sand them as one unit, then squirt them black to match this. I need to do the back side of this. It hasn't been squirted yet, so I'll squirt that black as well. And then once everything's painted up, I'll glue this to the underside front edge of that thing, like that. And then this is more 3 mil brass hacked out from like the middle of a control panel that didn't have any holes in it already. Leftover parts. And it's been drilled to 12 mil for the switch, and so it's going to get sanded down and rounded out and smoothed and evened out and stuff. And I don't see any harm in leaving it brass, so I guess I'll just leave it brass. I won't paint it or anything. So yeah, that's going to go there. That kind of an idea. And that'll take care of the button mounting. And so yeah, I got to do a little gluing and a little painting and a little sanding, and then all this will be ready to go. Okay, at long last, this thing is done. It's got the large spacer here, and then it has a smaller spacer here, and this is going to go right about like that underneath it, and the whole thing is going to go kind of in like this. That kind of an idea. And it's got to stick out this far because the pickup, unless I want to like cut the tangs off, because remember the pickup's going to need to be able to slide up and down, so it's got to be able to clear this button here. So that's the basic plan, and now it's time to glue it all in place. I need to triple check my saddle distance, make sure this bridge is right so that I can get everything all nice and centered. But more or less, it comes just about to the edge of the body right here, and when it's centered. So yeah, that's the next step, is glue it all in place now that it's all ready to go. Okay, there it is. It's all glued in, and that's all glued in. And it's got a nice little slope thing going on here. So I think I'm all set. Yeah, I'm just going to let this dry for a couple more minutes, and then it's on to mounting up some electronics. I want to put some tape on the back of this thing so it doesn't scratch up that. I think I'll use electrical tape for that. And pop the switch in, and then let's see, both sets of wires run back this way and join up at some point, and then the EQ goes on top here. I went out and squirted it black, and battery box goes on the bottom side. The on-off switch mounts on this end of the battery box, and that's pretty much it. And then of course everything gets connected one to the next, kind of an idea. Everything's more or less, it's a giant star parallel circuit. So it goes from the pickup, it goes to everything else. It goes to the kill button, it goes to the on-off switch for the pickup, it goes to the EQ. So yeah. Now this thing has a coil split, so I was thinking maybe I should add a coil split to this, but I don't know. Maybe when I do like a version 2 or something. I was figuring it out, and it's probably only going to be about $40, maybe $50. I forgot about the switch. In order to get all black hardware, get black roller saddles and black hold downs and black screws and a black switch, and I think that was it, actually. And then everything on the guitar will be black hardware, because I took all the neck screws and those kind of screws, and they're all black. So yeah, I should probably tighten up this number 1 string a little bit so that the saddle doesn't keep flopping off and the string doesn't keep coming out from under the tree. But anyway, yeah, so that's in, and yeah, mounting up electronics is next. It's starting to look pretty cool, actually. I kind of like that flat black and brass with the purple. It looks good. And the rosewood. I put the tape on the back of the pickup here, and it's just 2 strips, laid them across, and then trimmed it with a razor blade to fit the bottom, and it works just fine. Slide it right in there, and voila, a pickup. Slide it up the other end. Looks like this is going to need to go on the front. That way. That's right, all this has to be loose all the way down to here basically. So yeah, slide it down there, slide it up here. Good string clearance everywhere. So yeah, looks good, looks good. And I also put the switch in place. I still got to put the nut on it from behind. Okay, the EQ is out of the paint shop, and I just glued it onto the tail of the guitar, and I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes, and then I can flip it over and put on the battery box. And once the battery box is on, I can glue the on-off switch for the pickup to the battery box. And that'll pretty much install all the electronics. I might not want to glue that on-off switch yet. I might want to solder it first. But I've soldered it when it's on, already mounted, so I guess I'll just mount it. It's not that hard to get at. Okay, all the electronics have been installed. The switch is in now. Still need to tighten up the nut a little bit. It's only finger tight. The pickup is sticking. The battery box has been glued on. The EQ is glued on. I decided, where'd it go? Here it is. Yeah, I decided to not glue this thing on until I've soldered it up. It'll be easier to solder it when it's not glued on. I don't want to melt anything down with the solder gun, so yeah, that's the basic setup there. And now it's time to get to soldering. Basically, I need to put the pickup all the way in the neck position and see how far down the cable goes. And this is also going to go down there. So probably what I'll do is I'll start by taking this switch and tacking it down to the side of the body. Okay, like I was saying, I think I'll start by plumbing these guys down under here, at least down to like where the pickup would begin to get like attached to the body. And then I plumb them both together, and it looks like they're going to wire up someplace right around here. There's only going to be this little bit left on the pickup, so I don't really want to cut that off. It's better to preserve the wiring. So I can just bend that around, and then there'll be a piece of shielded cabling that would come back and go here where the switch is going to be, and then off of that would come the piece of guitar cable that plugs in to the EQ. And that's pretty much the way it'll be plumbed. So, but yeah, that's actually not too bad. That's not too bad. I was thinking it was going to be a real mess, because you got like 4 or 5 things that are all like just connected together, and you end up with a big gob of wires. So, but anyway, let me get at it here. Okay, let's see here. We've got the wires for the kill switch tacked down, and then the first tack down for the pickup and the kill wire switch. These guys are ending at just about the same spot, somewhere underneath this tuner. I've got the piece of cable that's going to go from there and up and around there to the other side of the box where the switch will be. And that's already been, like, you know, trimmed and stripped and everything. This is 4 cable conductor, shielded, and the yellow and the white have just been, the ends have been cut off, and they're still inside the sheathing there, but they're not being used. And the sheathing is, or the shielding is wired to the ground at both ends, just to be sure. And I put the LCR meter on the pickup in order to figure out what's what, and it appears to be using standard Seymour Duncan type wire colors. So black's your hot, green's your ground, along with your shielding, and red and white is your coil split, where your two the inner sides of the 2 coils. So that's where you would put your coil splits. And so now the next step is these guys are going to go like this, and these guys are going to go like that as well. They're a little long and need to be stripped back a little bit more. And then this guy is going to come in from this direction, and all 3 sets are going to get soldered together. And that's where you get your big gobs of wires, and I'll try to make it as neat as possible.